It is hot as freaking balls right now, bro. So, I came back from Best Buy, probably the best place you can go and get new electronics, especially if it's Nintendo related. And here I am looking at the Switch, asking one simple question. Why did I do it? The question comes up because I've criticized Nintendo. I've said that some of their things kind of suck. Not the games are always coming out with high quality, but you know, their business practice and their consumer relations, it's just plain horrible. And you've probably heard all over the internet, a lot of Nintendo tubers or anybody with their certain criticisms against Nintendo, you probably heard that they also got a Nintendo Switch 2. There is no way to justify this. I can't find a way to justify this right now, because even I criticize Nintendo. I can only say that the reason why I am getting, or why I got the Nintendo Switch 2 is because of, it's kind of an investment. I want to get it for the future of what's going to happen with Nintendo. Again, their games are high quality, except for Pokemon, and I can't really doubt how they create their games. Like, it's usually around like $150 million into the investment and budget of the games, their creations, and what they go through in terms of routine. I haven't heard any bad things from the company in terms of, I don't know, like overworking, people getting sick, or pissing in a bottle or anything like that. I could say that Nintendo is looking out for themselves. I'm pretty sure they're looking out for their employees and anybody who's working under them, but I can't help but think, and really this is just a fact here, that their business practice against the consumer is not looking good. Yet for some reason, I decided to still get the Switch like the mindless ape that I am. So this is where I have to ask the question. Did you buy a Switch 2? Do you know the things that are going on behind closed doors? Well, you don't, but like what's in public, I should say, in terms of the business practice that they they also don't even try to hide. I mean, why? Why did I get the Nintendo Switch 2? Why did I do that? I just can't, like, you know, I could have waited. I really could have. I could have waited, but I decided to sit in front of that Best Buy for 6 hours, right? I brought a chair, I brought my old Switch, I was playing Banjo-Tooie, I was getting to know people, I made a few friends, I learned a new thing that I should have done with YouTube a long time ago, and if you can't tell, I am trying to transition from my old content that I used to talk about, like Final Fantasy 14 all the damn time. Hopefully you guys will stay on the journey with me, but I want to talk about a whole bunch of things in terms of gaming, and it's not like I'm going to abandon 14. Of course I'm going to go back to 14, but the point is, I sat in front of that Best Buy for 6 hours. By the way, I go to Best Buy every time something new comes out. Just do that. And I was number 10, right? I was the 10th person in line out of like 100 people that showed up. Now, this is a Best Buy that's out in the suburbs, so it wasn't like 300 people, 400 people, or anything like that. It was just a plain 100 people. And someone told me, hey, there's only 25 of those systems in the store, plus the 75 that is reserved for the people on the other side. That line was a lot shorter. Why didn't they go to sleep? They did not need to be here. But, you know, for the rest of us who weren't lucky to get a reservation, we decided to stand in front of the store. Well, sit. Everybody was sitting in front of the store, and in front of the store next to Best Buy, which I felt bad for them because they, you know, the employees couldn't get out of their store through the front door. They had to go through the back. I'm just trying to fathom why I did that. Why didn't I just wait? I could have waited maybe a couple months, a few months, wait on the games that are possibly coming out, and possibly be a very patient boy and not feed into the consummation of Nintendo. Because we know that Nintendo hasn't been good to consumers over the past few years. We have conniptions, we have setbacks, we have people who literally go out and say, I'm not gonna buy the Nintendo Switch 2. I didn't say that. I said, full stop, I'm going to get it. I said that. But it's not like I agree with everything that Nintendo does. The only thing I can really say is that maybe, and this is just on me, I want you to ask yourselves, because this is more or less therapy for me. Maybe it's because I didn't want to miss out. It's FOMO. It has to be FOMO. Why did I sit in front of that store for 6 hours till midnight? Why did I decide to spend a full $500 and something to get this system, plus, you know, some other things? Why are we all the 100 people who didn't get the reservation, why did we do that? Why? And you know what? It's not like I outright hate Nintendo. My like to dislike with them is that I don't like their business practices, but I love their games. And it's just, except for Pokemon. I should always add that. Pokemon is a problem. I'm just saying that you can call me a hypocrite. You really can. It is hypocritical for a person to criticize Nintendo and then go out to get their console. I'm fully aware of that, and I just feel awful for that. But at the same time, I am enjoying Mario Kart World. I really am enjoying that. I am enjoying playing with my friends. I'm enjoying anybody who wants to play with me, and when I do my streams, which by the way, I do streams every Saturday. You can find me on Twitch. I'm going to put the information on screen. Join me, we'll have some fun. And you know what? I don't feel bad getting the Switch 2, but like deep down inside, there is a problem that I think that I'm just not addressing to myself. Like I said, I'm fully a hypocrite for all of this, but I just can't stop thinking that perhaps something good would happen because I got the Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, the games that are coming out, yeah, I am fully prepared for the games that I really want from Nintendo. At the same time, I thought I had integrity, and well, there are people online saying if you bought the Nintendo Switch 2, you have no integrity. You know, I can't really argue against the statement there because, you know, I criticized Nintendo. I said I didn't like their business practice. I really do want them to change, and the only way for them to really change is if you don't buy their products, if you don't buy their stuff. They're fully invested in all this. Well, they do have a theme park now, so I'm not really too sure if all 100% of their money is really coming from that. Plus, you know, they do get like something from Pokemon. That is the biggest franchise in the world, and it's like billions upon billions of dollars, really. So what I mean to say is that whenever you buy a console from a company, they're not really gaining anything because they spent so much making the console. Thus, they're not really gaining anything when people buy the console. They're just setting them up for success with the games that are going to come out. So we all understand that. And yet still, $500 just went and flew away to Nintendo to cover some of that cost, though it's not going to be anywhere near the positive because of how much they had to spend in order to make this new console. Hopefully, it was a bit of something, because honestly, I know a lot of people like to make fun of Nintendo being behind the times in terms of technology, but now they're kind of catching up. So again, I have to ask the question, maybe not just for me, but for everybody, why did you buy the Nintendo Switch 2? Because I know a lot of people were watching this either bought it or probably didn't, which then I have to ask for the people who didn't buy the Nintendo Switch 2, what was your thought process on that? What made you stay your hand from going out in front of that store or fighting for that reservation on Best Buy, Target, Walmart, or GameStop, and instead you're waiting for the console to either drop in price, which is not going to happen because it's Nintendo, or you're waiting until good games come out, then you'll buy that, and then you'll buy the games with it. Is that the thought process here? I would love to hear it. Again, you can call me a hypocrite because I've criticized Nintendo, still bought their console, but for me it's an investment because I am also going to be streaming. I'm going to try to do new content with it, and overall it's a better machine than I have with the first Switch, the Switch 1, which I guess now we're coining now. For those of you who bought the Nintendo Switch 2, tell me your story. What did you do to get it? If you bought a reservation and you just stood in front of the store and just picked it up, then yeah, that's whatever. But if you were like me, right, and you had to fight for that thing, right, you had to be in line real early, you had to wait 6 hours, what is that story to you? There was a guy who was in first place who waited a literal like 10 to 12 hours for this thing. He got there when the store opened, right, at like 8 o'clock in the morning and stayed there the entire time, and he didn't need to do that. He was there for hours by himself, quite legit there by himself. I got there like several hours later and I was in 10th place. So, and you gotta remember, this was out of 100 people who didn't have a reservation. They had a system at Best Buy, and it was a good system where they gave you like a ticket in place of where you were. People who were in like the top like 20 or top 15, they were fine, they were chilling, they were just like, you guys are fine. And I was just like, oh, okay. And it was like, you guys are guaranteed a console. I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, it's a finite amount of consoles within every store, so of course it's like anybody who didn't get a ticket, well, yeah, they were SOL. But at the same time, it's like everybody really showed up to get that Switch 2 console. And again, I want to know what you guys' story. I want to know why you guys did it. And I know plenty of you who stay on YouTube or watch YouTube videos also have some sort of critique against Nintendo, especially Pokemon. I'm going to keep bringing that name up. I'm going to keep talking about them because Pokemon really disappointed me. So what's your story? Tell me, why did you go and get the Switch 2? What was your decision in doing so? And if you didn't do it, please let me know. I want to know the story. I want to start a discussion here because honestly, I feel like a hypocrite for getting it, but at the same time, I know I'm investing myself with getting the console. I know my brother didn't get it. I know none of my families didn't get it. I know my best friends didn't get it because they have a family. They have things that they need to spend, but at the same time, I'm almost in the same boat. I went back to school. I'm spending money on school. I have a 9-to-5 job. I'm taking care of what's going on in this house right now, and I'm accommodating that, but I still found the time and found a way to save up to get this damn thing. And I'm just like thinking in the back of my mind, why did I do that? Why didn't I just wait? So anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Tell me your story. Tell me why you did it and why you didn't do it. And if you like what you saw today, please like the video. And if you didn't like it, obviously you can hit the dislike. I'm okay with that too. And also, if you have not seen or have any familiarity with this channel, please subscribe. It's real easy and you can change your mind later. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. No, but seriously, what is going on with Pokemon? I mean, I heard that their new game is better on the Switch too.